Hello everyone, my name is Nur Indah Fitria and I'm currently taking my Master of Education in English Language Teaching at Universitas Indraprasta PGRI. And today, I'm excited to share a topic that is both essential and practical in English: conditional sentences. You may have come across in daily conversation, academic writing, or even in popular music and movies. So in this video, I'll walk you through all four types of conditionals: zero, first, second, and third. This is part of the academic speaking for scientific purpose course, and I hope by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer understanding of how to use conditional sentences correctly and, of course, confidently. Okay, now, before we dive into the lesson, let me give you a quick overview of what we're going to cover today. First, we'll begin with a simple explanation of what conditional sentences are, how they work, and why they're important. Then, we'll explore the four types of conditionals, starting from type O all the way to type 3. I'll also show you their patterns, their uses, and some real-life examples, of course. So, they're easy to be understood. And after that, we'll have a quick quiz to test your understanding. And finally, I will give you some final tips and encouragement to help you use conditional sentences. Of course, more confidently in your speaking and writing. All right, let's begin with what conditional sentences actually are. Have you ever said something like, "If I win the game, I'll treat you to lunch," or "If I had studied, I would have passed"? Well, those are conditionals. So, what are conditional sentences? A conditional sentence talks about a situation and its result. It usually starts with the word if. English has four types of conditionals: zero, first, second, and third, each with a different function. Now, are you ready to explore them? Okay, let's start with type 0, or what we call the zero conditional. Now, have you ever noticed how some things are always true, like facts or scientific truths? Well, that's exactly what zero conditional is for. It follows this pattern: if plus present simple for the condition and present simple only for the result clause. And here is the example. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. That's a scientific fact. It always happens. Here another one. If it rains, the ground gets wet. Simple, right? We can also use it for everyday general truth. If you don't water plants, they die. So, anytime you're talking about something that always happens under certain condition, zero conditional is your go-to structure. Easy so far? Great! Let's look at the next type after this. Alright, now we move on to type 1, the first conditional. We use this when we talk about real and possible situations in the future. Things that might actually happen as long as the condition is met. The formula is if plus present simple for the condition and will plus verb or best form of a verb for the result clause. And for example, if I study, I will pass the test. That's a real possibility. If I put in the effort, passing the test is likely. And here's another one. If I wake up early, I will catch the bus. It makes sense, right? We also use it for plans or warnings. If it doesn't rain, we will play football. Or if you touch that wire, you will get a shock. And so remember, first conditional is about the future, but only when it's something realistic or likely to happen. We use it all the time in daily conversation. For example, if I don't eat now, I'll be hungry later. So simple and so relatable, right? Now, are you ready for the next one? Let's go. Now, let's move on to type 2, the second conditional. We use this for unreal or imaginary situations in the present or future, things that are not real but that we like to imagine. And the pattern is if plus past simple for the condition and would plus best form of a verb for the result clause. For example, if I had $1,000,000, I would travel the world. Imagine that. It's not real, but it's fun to think about it, right? And here is another one. If I were a bird, I would fly to the mountains. Can you imagine that? This is impossible because I'm not a bird. It's just an imagination. Or if I had more time, I would learn Korean. That thing's really, really impossible for me because I'm almost have no free time. Okay, sometimes we wish we had more free time, right? We also use second conditional for dreams, wishes, or advice. For example, if I were a famous singer, I would perform in front of thousands of fans. And for the advice, if I were you, I wouldn't waste this opportunity. So, basically, second conditional is all about imagining what could happen if things were different. Isn't it interesting how English helps us talk about real and imaginary ideas? Great! Ready to see what's next? Now, let's talk about type 3, or the third conditional. This one is a little different because it talks about the past, things that didn't happen but we wish had happened. Often, it shows regret or imagining a different past. And here is the formula. If plus past perfect. For the condition, would have plus past participle or verb 3 for the result clause. For example, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam. The truth, I didn't study, so I failed. But I wish I had studied. And here is another one. If she had left earlier, she wouldn't have missed the flight. The truth, she was late, so she missed it. Imagine how different it could have been, right? Or if they have told me, I would have helped. Maybe they didn't ask for help, but I really wanted to. We use this conditional when we look back and think, what if things had been different? It's perfect for stories about regrets, missed chances, or imagining alternate paths. It's a bit tricky at first, but with practice, you'll get it easily. Now, are you ready to try some exercise with all these conditionals? Let's go. Alright, everyone, it's quick quiz time! Yay! I'm going to read some sentences and I want you to think about which conditional type each one is. Is it type 0, type 1, type 2, or type 3? Are you ready for this? Here we go. Now, here is the first sentence. If I drink coffee at night, I cannot sleep. Now, I want you to take a few seconds to think. Who thinks this is type 0? Raise your hand, please. Or shout it out. Yes, exactly. This is type 0, a fact that's always true. Let's go to number 2. If I had known, I would have called you. What about this one? Think carefully. Okay? Are you ready? Any guess? Right. This is type 3. Talking about something in the past that didn't happen. Okay, now, here is the last one. If I were taller, I would play basketball. What do you think? Alright, that's great. It's type 2. An imaginary or unreal situation now. Awesome job, everyone! You're really getting the hang of conditionals. Yay, good job! Alright, let's wrap this up. Conditionals might sound tricky, right? Like trying to fold a fitted sheet. But trust me, once you practice and pay attention to these verb tenses, you'll master them in no time. Try creating your own examples for each type. The more you practice, the more natural it will be. And hey, if you accidentally say a funny sentence, don't worry. Laughter is part of learning. Okay? Remember this simple formula. Tense plus logic equals correct conditional. It's easy, right? And one last thing. If you practice every day, your English will improve. But if you don't, well, you might end up talking to your cat in English. No judgment. My cat's a great listener. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye and keep practicing.